welcome to India.com. My name is Divine Bhattacharya, and I'm very excited to welcome our guest for today. He is a former NXT champion and a former NXT Tag-Team Champion. He is a WWE superstar, Tommaso Ciampa. Welcome to the show, Tommaso.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to have you on board. Well, this is kind of a fanboy moment for me right now because this is my first ever one-on-one interaction with the WWE superstar, so you can understand my feelings right now.
Well, I'm honored that it's myself, man. It's very nice to meet you and talk to you.
Great, great. By the way, you have a very nice beard, something to be envied of.
This is 5 years in the making right here, man.
5 years. Yeah. I'll surely take some tips because I also want to grow that beard.
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's get down to the questions, shall we?
Yes, sir.
So you came back to WWE in 2015 to NXT after several stints with several pro wrestling circuits. So how's your journey been so far with the Black and Gold brand?
Man, it's definitely become my home over the last 6 years or so now. And it's just one of them things that, you know, in wrestling, a lot of times you just, you take any opportunity that comes your way and you kind of just adapt and evolve with it. And this is one of those things that when I watched it prior to getting to NXT and I saw that first NXT Arrival show, it was immediately, I literally just remember turning to my wife now and just saying, like, that's where I gotta be. I have to find a way there. I saw Cesaro and Sami Zayn just tear the house down, and it's one of those things. I just knew it. I was like, that's my style. That's the brand. That's everything about it, and it lived up to every bit of my expectations and exceeded it. It's just been an awesome time.
Sure. So moving on, you and Johnny Gargano have been part of the DIY tag team. You guys went on to win the Tag Team Championship as well. And 2 years back in a podcast, you said that he's the best professional wrestler presently. So how's the relationship like with Johnny?
It's business at this point. You know, obviously we've had our differences over the last, 3 years or whatever it be. I think we kind of came to a mutual spot, and things got rough there a little bit at the end. I don't see him much now, aside from passing by at work from time to time. But I'll stand by what I said, bell to bell. He's the best professional wrestler alive.
Sure. So back in April, you had a match with Walter for the NXT UK Championship at NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver. It is tipped to be the match of the year. So give us some thoughts about the crunch match you had.
Yeah, it's one of those matches where, I shouldn't say matches, it's one of those opponents where I kind of felt like if it ever happened, it was going to be special, and I was hoping that it would happen on a big stage. I said this the other day talking to someone. Me and Walter had crossed paths a lot on the independent circuit, quite a bit in WXW Germany, but we never wrestled. We never stepped in the ring together. There was definitely a common respect there. So for it to happen on such a big stage was really cool. I think my only regret, and there's no one had any control over it, is I would have loved a packed crowd for that, like a big takeover full arena crowd. That adrenaline rush, like you just can't really mirror that. But Walter is, man, he's on top of his game right now. It's the best Walter I've ever seen. I was happy to be in the ring with him. It kind of lit a little spark for me too. It was a big stage for me. I've had like a little bit of a tumultuous year, and that was my biggest singles match since Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano early last year. So it was, for me, it was like a nice refresher. It was kind of like, let's remind everybody just how damn good I am. And I was really happy with the outcome of that. Not the outcome as far as losing the match, but just the reception that it got. And man, people were very vocal and very appreciative. So that was cool.
Great. So you might be aware of that India has a massive following of WWE. And the popularity has risen over the years, and it's keeps getting better thanks to our ever-growing population. Like me, I've also grown up watching the likes of WWE legends like The Rock, The Undertaker, Triple H, John Cena. And we have been also host to 2 different WWE live events. So can we see Tommaso Ciampa in the next WWE live event in India?
That would honestly be amazing. Traveling in general right now would be amazing, but I've never been to India, and I guarantee you, if the offer comes, I will be saying yes to it. It's man, I love traveling, and it's one of the coolest things that this business has allowed me to. It's just one of those things where, like, as a kid, when you dream of being a wrestler, you don't think of that part of it. You don't think, I'm going to see the world. And that's been one of the coolest takeaways from this, just all the stories and memories I have outside of the ring, and the friendships, and you get to travel with some of your best friends and stuff. But going to India would be a next level, man. So if it happens and I get the offer, I promise you right now, and I'm a man of my word, I will be saying yes to it.
We'll be happy to see you there. So moving on, there are new Indians coming in the roster, WWE roster. We have the likes of Sarina Sandhu, then Giant Zanjeer, Shanky, Rinku. So what are your thoughts about them?
Well, let me tell you a little Rinku story. I feel like this was, at this point, maybe 2 years ago, everything kind of blends, but we had an NXT get together. Like, if you think back to like middle school gym class where I don't know, in India it might be different, but we would have these like field days where you'd compete in all these different push-up challenges and soccer games and stuff. So anyways, here we did that with NXT, just kind of like a fun get together. And I was on Team Rinku playing kickball, and he was our pitcher. So we had the $1 million arm pitching some kickball through. It was freaking awesome, man. And he's a cool dude. He really is. And not just to single him out. I mean, but the amount of respect he has for us in the business, and all of them, man, they're adapting really well. It's awesome. That's one of the coolest parts, I guess, for me, being part of NXT and at the Performance Center. We have people from all over the world coming together, and you get to kind of see different people and learn about their cultures and stuff. And every one of them is just so respectful. And that's always my takeaway. I'm like, man, it's not to say like, Americans aren't, or people from the UK aren't or anything, but it's just one of the things you're like, man, these guys and these women are so respectful, and they're just willing to learn and adapt and stuff. So I think you're going to be seeing a lot more of them soon on TV, whether it's NXT 205 Live or even potentially Raw and SmackDown.
Sure. So we all know that you're into fitness and how much you love hitting the gym. Back in May, you posted 2 photos of your 13-week, 16-week body transformation. That was very commendable. I really liked it.
Thank you, man.
So my question to you, what is your advice for all the young folks out there who are aspiring to achieve a certain set of goals?
There's so many pieces of advice you can give. It's kind of impossible to cover in one question, or it's
No, that's true.
I've gotten so much over the years. I think the biggest takeaways I've had recently, that passing on to anyone starting, just the consistency is above all. Like it's one of them that it's not an overnight journey. It really isn't. And it's just that consistency factor. Because even for me at this level, like I definitely have days where I don't want to do it. And I also have days where I feel like, oh, this isn't working. And I think a lot of times when you get those 2 things in your head where I'm not in the mood for it, I'm tired, I'm sore, whatever, or this isn't working, you quickly change and you kind of like abandon your scheme. And those are the days that you just have to like go back to the plan and just remember why you're doing it and think long-term and stuff. So consistency is big. And the other thing I wish I had learned earlier in my life is the importance of nutrition. I always lifted weights. I started at 15 years old, probably. I didn't really fully understand nutrition and how it plays a factor until like the last 5 years or so. And if I just jumped onto that earlier, I feel like I'd even be further along. I'm happy I discovered it at some point, but that's a big one. If you can kind of learn about nutrition early and get a good coach, like I have a really good coach who's kind of helped guide me and stuff. So that would be it, man. Consistency and nutrition are like my two keys.
Sure, sure. So you'll be teaming up with Timothy Thatcher at the American Bash, at the Great American Bash against MSK for the NXT Tag-Team Championship. So what's your message to MSK?
I feel like we kind of tried to give them our message loud and clear this past week on NXT. They're good. They're young. They're hungry. They're good. They're good kids. You know what I mean? And I don't mean to say that and slight them. It's just, man, Timothy Thatcher is very special. He's tough. He's rugged. He's old school. And while he held an interim tag team title once, he's never actually won the big one. He's never won the titles. He filled in for somebody who couldn't be around. And I think he knows that. And he feels like this is for him. This is a statement match. And for myself, it's the same thing. It's similar to how I talked about the Walter match. It's kind of like been reminding people lately, and especially now that crowds are coming back, I feel like if you were to put my strengths and weaknesses in wrestling on a little list, one of my biggest strengths is adapting to a live crowd and being able to adjust on the fly. And I feel like we showed that a little bit on Tuesday and now at the Great American Bash. I don't mean to shortchange them. They're a hell of a tag team, but man, if I'm a betting man, I'd bet the house on Timothy Thatcher and myself. Like we just want the titles. We want the titles. We want the respect. We want people to understand that we're the standard bearers. I've said this the other day in an interview, and we've only been tagging for 6 months, but I genuinely feel like we are the best tag team alive right now. And I feel like if people think that's a big claim today, 6 months from now, a year from now, they'll look back at it and be like, oh, you know what? He was right. Like, it's all we need is just give us more matches and give us more opportunities and give us more stages and platforms to prove it. Doesn't matter who we're in there with, whether it's MSK or New Day or Usos, or it really just doesn't matter. We're the best tag team alive right now.
Okay. So last question, Tommaso. I'd request you to say something in Hindi for our viewers. It is a very famous Bollywood dialogue from a Shah Rukh Khan movie. You might be knowing of it. He's one of the biggest superstars in India. So will you repeat after me?
I'll try my best.
Okay, give it a shot. It's like, it goes like this. Harkar.
Arka?
Harkar. Ha.
Harka.
Harkar. Jeetne wale ko.
Oh, that's tough. Harka jeetne wala ko?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Bazigar.
Bazigar?
कहते हैं.
Who said the last one?
कहते हैं. Yeah, that's pretty good. It simply means that those who can gamble even after losing, obviously for winning, they are the real gamblers. Catch you, right?
I love it. Very good. I learned today, and I appreciate it.
Thank you for your time, Tommaso. It was lovely talking to you. I wish you all the best for your future endeavors and keep on entertaining us like you always do.
Thank you, man. Congrats on your first interview.
Thank you very much. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.